everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of PBM's Homie Reviews, a series to review and talk about movies. In this video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite cartoons from Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers, and I'm of course talking about the Powerpuff Girls, because today we're going to be talking about the Powerpuff Girls movie. So, without further ado, let's jump into the history of the Powerpuff Girls movie. Now, for some of you who don't know what the Powerpuff Girls is, let me give you a little history about them. So, the Powerpuff Girls movie is an American superhero animated TV series created by animator Craig McCracken and produced by Hanna-Barbera, which was later called Cartoon Network Studios, for Cartoon Network and distributed by Warner Brothers Television Studios. The show focuses on Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, three kindergarten-age girls with superpowers. The girls all live in the fictional city of Townsville with their father, creator, and scientist named Professor Utonium, and are frequently called upon by the city's mayor to help fight nearby crimes and other enemies using their powers. So the Powerpuff Girls TV show began on November 18th of 1988, and the series stopped production on March 25th of 2005. And overall, this TV show has been a huge hit for both kids and adults. And due to the show being so successful, the Powerpuff Girls received a Japanese anime series back in 2006, a 2016 reboot series, and of course we can never forget the merchandise as well, such as toys, video games, comic books, home media products, and so on and so forth, and of course a theatrical movie, which we will talk about that right now. So, the Powerpuff Girls movie was originally released in theaters back in July 3rd of 2002 by Warner Bros. Pictures and Cartoon Network Studios. Despite positive reviews from critics, the film was unfortunately a commercial failure, earning $16 million worldwide on the budget of $11 million. Then, on November 5th of 2002, it was finally released onto home media by Warner Home Video, and you can get it on either VHS or DVD. And then somewhere around 2010, it was re-released by Warner Home Video on DVD once again. And just like with Clifford's Really Big Movie, there is no Blu-ray copy and there is no 4K copy whatsoever, unfortunately. Anyways, now we got the history part done. We will now jump into my copy of the Powerpuff Girls movie. Alrighty, we will now jump into my copy of the Powerpuff Girls movie. So here we have, the version I have is the 2010 DVD reprint of the Powerpuff Girls movie. Now, when it was finally released onto DVD in 2002, it was like in a cardboard DVD case. If y'all remember seeing those older Warner Bros. DVDs and stuff like that would be in like those cardboard DVD cases. Yeah, they're like one of the weakest DVD cases, because yeah, it's always best to get some DVDs like inside like actual cases, the ones that are strong and sturdy, you know. Anyways, take a look at the front post art. Looks pretty nice, not too bad. Here we have the Powerpuff Girls movie title card. Here we have the city of Townsville. Here we have Mojo Jojo. Then here we have the Powerpuff Girls. Here we have Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. The right mix of sugar and spice for a satisfying rush, says Gene Seymour from Los Angeles Times /Newsday. Spine, Cartoon Network logo. Scrolling down here, DVD logo, Warner Home Video, or Warner Brothers Home Video logo. Here we have the backside. Here we have Bubbles, Buttercup, and Blossom. Fantastic 4 stars by Sean Edwards from Fox TV. Here we have a scene from the movie. Then here we have blurb if you want to pause and read all of that. Here we have Mojo Jojo. And here we have special features if you want to pause and read this as well. And Warner Bros. Logo right there once again. And DVD, it is Region 1, just like with all the US and Canadian DVDs. Rated PG in the United States and Canada. And the reason why it's PG is because due to non-stop frequent animated action. Here we have the disc, squisher version of the front post art. And now we will jump into the menu tour for the Powerpuff Girls movie. Alrighty, here we have the menu tour for the Powerpuff Girls movie. So here we have play movie, scene selection, special features, and languages. Let's go to scene selection, like we always do. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scenes to choose from. Next, here we have the special features. Cast interviews, which talks about, we have 5 characters. We have Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles, Mayor, and Mojo Jojo. Additional scenes, Townsville possess, or how you pronounce that last word, I'm sorry. Mojo's secret surprise, building Mojo's lair, Monkey's spit. Then next here we have character commentaries, same characters, Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles, then Mayor and Mojo Jojo. Then a short from Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls movie trailer, and Cartoon Network sneak peeks. Let's have a look at that real quick. Here we have Codename Kid Next Door, Dexter's Laboratory Hip Hop CD, Powerpuff Girls video games, and Ed, Edd n Eddy video game. And that's pretty much it for the special features. And now, last but not least, the languages. So here we have, for spoken language, here we have English, French, and Spanish. And subtitles, same thing, English, French, and Spanish. Or you can do no subtitles at all whatsoever. And that's it for the menu tour for the Powerpuff Girls movie. We're over here at this last part to talk about my review and thoughts on today's movie. So, let's have a talk about the story plot first. So, what is the story basically about? Well, this movie, it's actually a prequel to the original Powerpuff Girls TV show. Like, it's kind of like an origin story, if you think about it. Like, of course, in the beginning we see Professor Utonium added some sugar, spice, and everything nice in there. And of course, the professor accidentally added an extra ingredient to the mixture, which is chemical X. And then all of a sudden, boom, the Powerpuff Girls were born and everything. And of course, the Professor Utonium, gave the 3 girls names. Blossom, the pink one, and then Bubbles, the blue one, and then Buttercup, the green one. And then everything was going well. And of course, one day, the professor takes the 3 girls to school and everything. And one day and then when it was like recess time, they were playing tag, and things got out of control. They got so distracted with their game of tag, and they were like thundering down through the city, like accidentally destroying buildings and roads by accident. And then when the professor finally caught up to the girls, they all headed home, and Professor told them to basically not use their powers and everything, because the people of Townsville are not used to flying Supergirls or something like that, you know. And then the next day, the Powerpuff Girls went back to school, and everyone was very angry with them and upset for what they've done. They all thought they're monsters and stuff like that. And then while when Professor Utonium was trying to pick up the girls from school, he got an unexpected surprise. There was an angry mob and policemen arrested Professor Utonium for creating the Powerpuff Girls and everything. And then the Powerpuff Girls, they were waiting out in the outdoors whenever school was out for the day and stuff like that. Basically what I'm trying to say is when school ended, the girls waited for the professor to arrive, but never came because he got arrested. So the Powerpuff Girls, they of course tried to find their way home, but ended up lost. And then they met up with a monkey called Jojo, which Jojo actually used to be the professor's lab animal or whatever you call it. And then then JoJo tells the girls like, it's like, hey, we can make the world a better place, like, accept us and everything. If you've seen the movie, like, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, basically JoJo convinced the girls to like, if we do something awesome, everyone will love us and everything. And so the Powerpuff Girls, they thought they were gonna do a good thing, but JoJo had plans of his own. So and of course the girls didn't know that JoJo was evil and everything. And so JoJo, he of course created like a monkey army. So he basically stole all the monkeys from the zoo and he mind controlled them all. And then when the Powerpuff Girls tried to show the professor what they've done, they realized that they got set up by JoJo, who is now called Mojo Jojo, and now everyone was like still pointing fingers at the Powerpuff Girls and blaming them, and they all thought the Powerpuff Girls had joined forces with Mojo Jojo and everything. But of course the Powerpuff Girls they didn't know that JoJo was being evil and everything, and so they ran away from Earth and ended up like somewhere in like outer space. They were all feeling upset and stuff like that. And then then later, the Powerpuff Girls heard screaming and Mojo's evil laughing and everything, and so they decided to like help. And then they realized their superpowers, so they realized that they could use superpowers to defeat villains and stuff like that, like Mojo and his army, you know. And so they stopped evil Mojo Jojo and they rescued the professor. And after that, the Powerpuff Girls were going to give up their superpowers until the mayor, of course, like stops them and asks them, like, "Hey, girls, we were wondering if you could help us like fight crime because Townsville's not a safe place because there's like villains and criminals running around, you know." And so the Powerpuff Girls and Professor Utonium agreed to help out and everything. And so the three Powerpuff Girls are all now fighting crime, like whenever Mojo Jojo is trying to take over the world, or whenever the Green Gang's trying to rob banks or whatever, the Powerpuff Girls are there to help. So what do I think about the story plot? I thought it was a pretty good way to like tell the origin story of the Powerpuff Girls. I thought they did really good with the story. It was really good. Yeah. Definitely a good prequel to it. Anyways, let's have a talk about the characters. So, of course, we all know the characters, like the three Powerpuff Girls, like Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, and, of course, Professor Utonium, and then we got, like, Mojo Jojo, and, of course, we had some, like, other villains and stuff like that in there, like Fuzzy, and then the Gangrene Gang, and then, of course, some other characters, like Miss Keen. I think she's the kindergarten teacher. I think her name is Miss Keen, I think. Yeah, I think so, yeah. And then, of course, you have, like, the mayor of Townsville, and then Miss Bellum, and a couple of other characters that we've known in the original Powerpuff Girls show and everything. Anyways, so yeah, pretty great characters from the entire Powerpuff Girls franchise. And out of all the characters, Bubbles is definitely my favorite. And who's my favorite Powerpuff Girls villain, you may ask? I would say probably the Rowdy Rough Boys. They're pretty cool. Out of all the Powerpuff Girls villains, yeah. But my favorite character of all time is definitely Bubbles. And I'm glad they got, like, the voice actors, like, in the movie, just like in the original TV show. Like, you got Tara Strong, you got E.G. Daily, and a couple of other voice actors that we know in the original show and everything. So I'm glad they kept the original voice actors and stuff like that. Now let's talk about the animation. The animation is really good. Like, definitely well done. And of course, like with some, if not all movies, like for example, like the first SpongeBob movie, like the animation was a little different compared to like the show. And then same thing for Clifford's Really Big Movie. The animation was obviously different compared to the original Clifford show. And so the Powerpuff Girls, basically the same thing. Like the animation is of course kind of sort of different compared to the show, the original show. So yeah. So overall, really great animation. Now let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, of course, is really good, and of course, I love the main theme of the Powerpuff Girls theme song and everything. Yeah. So overall, pretty great soundtrack. And now to my final thoughts. So overall, do I recommend the Powerpuff Girls movie? Well, if you're a Powerpuff Girls movie like I am, the answer to that is yes. Or, of course, if you haven't seen the Powerpuff Girls, and if you're planning to watch the original Powerpuff Girls TV show, let me stop you right there. Watch the movie first, and then watch the show, because the movie, it's actually a prequel to the Powerpuff Girls TV show, the original TV show. Like, basically, if you want to get like the whole story of the original Powerpuff Girls era and stuff like that, I would say watch the movie first, and then watch the TV show. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Yeah, and since feels like this movie is kind of underrated in my opinion, because I never saw this movie as a kid. Well, as a kid, I've watched like a few Powerpuff Girls episodes on Cartoon Network and everything, and then I started watching like the original Powerpuff Girls TV show, like all in order and stuff like that, like months ago and stuff like that. It's like right now I've already completed the first 4 seasons. Now I got to watch the last 2 seasons of the Powerpuff Girls original TV show and stuff like that. And I'm thinking about watching like the reboot and stuff like that. And of course I'm gonna watch like the specials, stuff like that, like the Christmas special and a couple of other few specials that takes place in the original Powerpuff Girls era and stuff like that. You know, my point is, I'm not saying this movie's like rare or anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure like of course, I'm not saying this movie was, I'm not saying this movie got bad reviews from the audience. I mean, I'm pretty sure Powerpuff Girls fans, I'm pretty sure a lot of Powerpuff Girls fans love this movie just as well as the critics did. But basically, my point is, like, if you're still want to hunt for this movie, let me tell you, it's not a rare movie. It's, yeah, at least in my eyes, it's not rare or something like that. I mean, I found this movie at a movie train company for $4, which is a really good deal. And of course, if you want to get it on like VHS or DVD, you could always, if you want to look for it at a random video store or a Half Price Books, feel free to do that. Or of course, if you want to look for this on Amazon and eBay, feel free to also do that. I would just say, like, try not to go over $5 for this. Or of course, like, if you basically want it badly, I mean, I guess, well, basically do not leave the $5 to $10 range for this one. Yeah, so overall, if you're a Powerpuff Girls fan like I am, feel free to watch this one. Or of course, like I said earlier, like if you haven't seen the original Powerpuff Girls TV show yet, watch the movie first, then you can watch the original TV show. So that way you can get like basically the whole entire story of the original Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that. Anyways, that about wraps up this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.